I want to start with you, Danielle, because I want you to explain Paris Johnson in a sentence or 3 words to me.
Ooh, ooh, I'm gonna do the 3 words one. Okay. Paris is big-hearted, an extrovert, and a lot in a positive way. That's more than 3 words, but that's how I would describe her.
I love it. And Daria, I love the sisterhood that's reflected in this series, specifically at this age. Can you tell me why this is important for younger, especially younger Black girls to see reflected on their television screens?
It's important to see the sisterhood so young Black girls have a chance to understand, hey, we're here for each other. This is how we love each other. We express our love, how we communicate with one another, and just all around. It helps you see Black love and Black friendship as well.
Absolutely, I definitely agree. And Payne, this series leans heavily into skate culture. So, what did it teach you about the pastime that you weren't aware of before?
Skate culture, I do feel like skate culture has a very big positive community. Like everybody in it is very uplifting, and anybody, it's so diverse. It's not just for the African American community. And I think the African American community is very strong in the skate culture. But for so many other people, it's so inclusive and it's so positive that I really learned that. And I love that about the skate culture and the skate community.
Absolutely. And Danielle, you are working, and all of you guys really, but working with, in my opinion, sitcom royalty with Golden Brooks and Omar Gooding. So tell me what that is like having them as your television parents and kind of what they represent for, I would say, like a new age of parenting, if you will.
I mean, it's an honor. I feel like Miss Golden and Mr. Omar are vets in this industry, and they're so professional and so hilarious. Being able to watch them and how they work with each other and just certain acting choices that they make, it's really amazing and inspiring to me. And I feel like their characters are so important because we are showing Black family, and who better than Miss Golden and Mr. Omar? I feel like it's really good to highlight that and just the dynamic of like how Black families are and just the culture of it. So I really appreciate Disney for that.
Yeah. And Daria, Simone, I personally love Simone, but when you first got this script and you were diving into your character, what are some ways that you prepared to bring Simone to life?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for that. I'm so glad that you love Simone. While I was reading about Simone, I really wanted that earthiness and bohemian chic to be authentic. So I made sure I did my research on chakras, on crystals, and just being in touch with your spiritual side and nature. I wanted to make sure I gave Simone every I had of research and just made sure that she was absolutely bohemian chic in her.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job because I have a goddaughter and she's so like she's 10, but she teaches me things about chakras. And I'm like, wow, you've been here before. And so my last question is for you, Peyton, because I think it's so important to have coming of age stories on television. Why do you think Saturdays, what do you hope instead? What do you hope Saturdays, what kind of feeling do you hope that it gives this generation that will be tuning in and falling in love with these characters?
Wow. I really hope that this brings them so much joy and so much happiness as they watch this show come to life. And I really hope it inspires the generation, all of them, truthfully, that they have representation now for the African American community and for so many other like minorities and for everybody in general. I really hope that they get inspired and they really feel that they can do this. Um, that's what I hope. I hope they feel inspired. I hope they feel happy and all bubbly inside when they watch the show.
Yes, well, y'all are definitely representing. I'm ready to put my skates back on. So hats off to y'all and thank you and have a good day.
Thank
All right. Hi, y'all. My name
you.
is Sheila.
What's up?
And I am with Shadow and Act. How are y'all today?
Good, Shanae Dog. What's happening?
Doing good, doing good.
Yes, yes. Okay, so let's hop right in. Jermaine, I'm actually gonna start with you. What would you say London Johnson has taught you about the importance of coming of age stories for this current generation?
Ooh, well, that's a good question. London Johnson has taught me that like time is of the essence, but also the time you spend with people.
Mm.
He's a character that does love spending time with his best friend Derek, who Tim plays in the show. And they spend a lot of time together in the labs where they make music and just chill. But also in the show, he does spend a lot of time with his sister, whether that be getting into some wild adventure or also with his parents. And seeing that, because we do get to grow up with these people, with these characters, it reminds me of how much time that I spent with my family and my friends growing up, and how I appreciated that time. So I think it for sure will teach young people to just really enjoy being young, enjoy the time they do have with their loved ones, and yeah, every single day that they get to spend with them, every cool, funny moment, every story that they get to spend with these people. So yeah.
Yeah, because like it goes by at lightning speed. I didn't understand it when I was a kid, like
Oh,
when
me.
older people are like soaking in,
Oh,
but
they'll
now
say that line. You better enjoy it while it lasts. I'm like,
exactly.
what?
Now I
I'm
get
down forever.
now I get it. And you know, Tim, one of my favorite just parts of the show is the emphasis on Derek or D-Rock and London's brotherhood. So can you tell me what would you say their friendship teaches us about the importance of that brotherhood at a young age, specifically for little black and brown boys?
Yeah, love that question. It's so important to have somebody who has your back. You know, London and Derek, they got each other's back. They love each other, and they're family. And it's a blessing to be able to have somebody to be like, you, my family. We gonna have our dreams together. Like London and Derek with music, they want to blow up, and so we see them in their process of whether it's, look, let's give a mixtape to this artist coming into town, or let's try to find a way to get our names out there. And they have something where they could sharpen each other and dream bigger than whatever circumstances or whatever is there. So I know for me, like having friendships, like me and Jermaine, we've been friends for a minute. This is my brother right here. So
Yeah.
it's like it kind of reflects that relationship where it's like, hey, I could call this dude up about anything and be like, okay, let's talk about it. Or like our dreams that we got together. It's like, okay, let's write this script, or let's do this. So it's kind of similar.
Yep, we
That's
go
amazing.
back.
Yeah, that's amazing, and it really reflects on screen because I'm like, dang, like I wonder if they're friends in real life because y'all have great chemistry. So that's really super cool to know. And Jermaine, you know, well, Tim mentioned being in the lab, and another element, Jermaine, that I love is that how London's parents, who in my opinion are sitcom royalty with Golden Brooks and
Yeah.
Omar Gooding, they really support his dreams, you
Yeah.
know, his music dreams. And in what ways do you hope this sends a message to audience members that are watching that might be parents, you know, or maybe children with these grand dreams and the importance of that support to chase it?
Yeah, that's a really good one. Honestly, I do love the fact that how much support he has in the show, whether that be from his parents and even from his sister, with Paris. You really never see her ever really doubt London. And I think it's so important to have that and show that in shows, especially with our people in the Black community, to show that even if your child isn't doing the career or the going down the path you really initially wanted for them, it's still okay to support them in whatever endeavors they do want to do, because that goes so far. That gives them confidence to do what they want to do. They can walk out with their chin up knowing that, like, you know what, if it's okay if I try this out, and I might mess up, I might fail here and there, but I know that my people got my back. And we see that a lot with London's parents, with Cal and Deb, because Derek, he's going to support his boy. He has his back, and London has his back as well. But seeing that from the parent standpoint, I think that's really important for people to see that across the world, because that shows that whatever little light they see in their kids, that they can, the first pieces of love they get in the world is from the parents. So
yeah,
whatever little seeds they have, they're gonna be the first. They should be the first people to water that seed, because you're not gonna believe in yourself unless you really see somebody else do it first too. So I think that's super important, and I love that they incorporated that in the show.
me too. It's so beautiful. And lastly, here, Tim, before we wrap, again, we have this big emphasis on skate culture. Tell me,
Yeah.
did this bring back any memories of like skating for you? Are you an avid skater? Did you learn anything about just the culture from being a part of this show?
Hello, Tim.
Yes, I learned everything eating engulfed in this. It's been so fun for me. I know as well as Jermaine, we grew up on roll bounce.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
me too.
Yeah, yeah.
And our executive producer and creator of the show, Norman Vance Jr., created roll bounce. So that was crazy. Being a part of something where we knew when we were coming into the show, it's like legacy is here. Legacy is here. For me, skating, that wasn't that good. To be honest, I learned through this process of how to skate, and being able to be in Chicago to see like the JB skaters, but then see like all styles of skating. This show is really, it's crazy, especially as it gets later on in the season, as we see all the skating, like it's gonna be wild, and it's all styles. It's all styles. So it's really cool.
Absolutely. Well, thank y'all so much for your time today, and congratulations on an amazing show. Just to kick us off, I want to know, how did you come up with the vision for this television series?
Well, back like 3 years ago, over like 3 years ago, um, we had a conversation with Disney Channel, with pretty much like generals. I think when you have a production company, you do a lot of generals with people just like getting to know each other and having conversations with different platforms just to see what's there. And Disney Channel mentioned that they wanted to, all of the heads of Disney Channel literally said they wanted to do something that involved roller skating in some type of way. And we already had an idea in mind that could incorporate that, but that's when the connection with Norman Vance came to be, and they told him the same thing, which of course made so much sense with him because he already had roll bounce. So having that connection and that collaboration to just work beautifully made so much sense. And I think being able to put my input and my creativity into it as well, to where it can blossom on its own, really helped a lot. So it was a team effort for sure, but it took a lot to get to this point. So I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah, and I just love the intentionality behind it all, because one of my favorite things in the 2 episodes that I got to screen was seeing the skaters and like their moves, like, like their whatever talent, whatever their skill is. Why was it so important to really hone in on that and just really uplift the community that comes with skate culture?
It was important to uplift that because that was our show. It's all about skating and our culture and all different types of levels to it. Of course, it's about family and friendship and all the ups and downs that young Black girls go through, but also at the same time, it's all revolved around this one thing, which is skating. So we really wanted to implement that in a way where it felt real and it made sense and it was very organic. So we had of course, we had our main girls be in boot camp and learning the tips and tricks of skating, because they knew how to move, but they didn't know how to move. So that's really what we saw from them, was kind of their training that they've had for the past 2.5 months and really working hard on it. And also mixing that in with actual professional skaters that have been doing it for such a long time and knowing this the skating culture. And especially for it to be in Chicago, there is a whole world revolved around skating that there's different styles, and there's different groups and different cliques, and for the girls to get to know that was pretty dope to watch and to see, and to implement that in this way is pretty dope.
Yeah, and speaking of dope, another one of the many themes that I thought was super cool is just the emphasis on a supportive family. And so why was it important for you to showcase two Black parents pouring into their children's dreams in the way that they do, but especially with London's like music aspirations?
I thought it was important because um even with me, I come from a very supporting family, a supporting parents as well, which their style of parenting has always been um helping to guide you, but not be you, in a sense of trying to tell you what to do or telling you what you should do or why you shouldn't do that, but more of learning from your mistakes and only here to guide you and there if you need anything. But at the same time, joking around and not um, hovering over their children, you know? And I think that's really what we wanted to show here, was something that felt very natural, especially in a Black family household, but everybody can relate to it in some way. So that was one of the most important things to me. And to be able to have Omar and Golden be the not only the parents in this amazing series, but also kind of just being the parents in real life as well. I mean, they've been in the game for so long. We've watched them grow. So to be able to see them back on the screen in this way is also like a dope parenting skill to see, you know, for the girls as well.
Yeah, and that was actually going to be, you're reading my mind. That was going to be my last question for you because I consider Golden Brooks and Omar to be sitcom royalty, and you yourself too for this generation. Um, what what was that experience like in working with them? Like, you know, we've watched them on such great sitcoms that molded, you know, what that looks like. So, what was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was so cool. Well, Omar was a fan favorite in my household, and my whole family loved him. And when we saw his tape when he was auditioning for the role, we were like, "Oh my God, yeah." And he was so great, and he embodied it so well. So to be able to have that nostalgic feel, and him also bringing Cal into a new world and a new life in a different way, and being that dad is pretty dope. And also with Golden, I was able to work with her on the set of Blackish, and she is so sweet, so down to earth, and is professional and works on her craft, and articulates herself very well. So to be able to watch that on set, I knew I wanted to at least bring her on in another way, and I want to work with her. You know, I think that was the cool thing. So to be able to see the people that you want to work with in a different aspect is pretty cool.
I absolutely love that for you. Thank you so much for your time, Marsai. I want to start with you, Golden, because one thing I love about Saturdays is just the support of the Johnson family. And so, especially with London and his music dreams, can you tell me why is it so important to see a loving Black family really like go above and beyond to support their child's creative dreams?
Oh, wow. That's such a great question. I just think in general, in terms of representation and just all applause to Disney for allowing us and giving us that sort of platform to showcase and celebrate the Black family. I mean, I think we've seen many renditions of the Black family throughout the years of TV. So this is, I mean, Saturdays represents fun. It represents skating, a culture, Chicago culture, but above all too, I mean, it is about, you know, Cal and Deb and how much we love these kids and how much, you know, we do all the zany fun stuff, but at the backdrop of it all is the love and support we have for London and for Paris and London and all of, you know, he's so funny in this, but you know, it's important for, I think, audiences to see sort of the fun aspect of what it is to be in this sort of, you know, this family, but it's also about, you know, representing the respect and the support, and showing that this is intentional. You know, it's intentional that this family is supportive, and we're just, you know, we're about our kids.
Yeah, and it helps that it's on a Saturday, so we have time to do so. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We got to work on a Monday. They got to go to school. Every episode takes place on a Saturday at Saturday. So
Exactly. I love that. And for you, Omar, tell me, because you know, TV dads like really can make or break generations. So tell me, how is
that was
Cal?
deep. You like getting a little emotional.
Listen. So tell me, how is Cal not like any television dad that we've ever seen before?
No, that's interesting. I mean, you know, we do have a home-based bakery business, so he does have a lot of joke about it being on a Saturday, but we're at home anyway. You know what I mean? And he's the fun-loving dad. He's kind of level-headed. He kind of sees what's going on. You know, he has a fight with his wife towards the end of the season, and he goes, "I made a mistake," by talking it out. Even though he's frustrated like everyone else, he's talking about it to his son and his son's best friend, and he's going, "Oh, that was me. I got to apologize. I got to make this right." You know, and then there's an episode where Golden and Paris they have an issue, or Deb and Paris have an issue where they're fighting, and she's being a little overbearing, wants to be in her daughter's life, and it's Cal who steps in and says, "Let me talk to my daughter. Listen, baby, cut your mama some slack, okay? You know what I mean? She's just wants to stay included in your life. You know what I mean? So she's not trying to do too much, but sometimes it happens."
Yeah, and I love that they're both like on one accord with raising their children.
Yes.
That's beautiful. And Golden, I just have to know, you know, the emphasis on skate culture is real. I love all the tidbits about skating. I was a middle school skater. So tell me, were you a part of any skate crews? Was this like nostalgic? Because I know y'all have like you know, Deb and Cal have, y'all legendary.
We are. We were like the original Goldens. We like, and definitely for me in real life. I mean, I have to toot my little horn here. I did skate. I'm from the Bay Area. I roller skated all growing up. I even ice skated. I started out ice skating. But so this was a little bit easy for me to get on the skates. Now, that being said, the whole style of JB is completely different than, you know, skating in the 80s. You know, there's a whole next level to, you know, all the different like the downtown, and there's just a lot of technical things that Omar and I had to learn to make us look very professional. But that was part of it. That's the fun of it. I mean, everything we're doing on this show is very authentic. I mean, I feel like Saturdays, each episode is like a little movie. I mean, we've got choreography, we've got skate lessons, I mean, it's a whole thing. We have a showcase where we show the producers, you know, things are changing. Omar and I have something coming up. I mean, it's a real grassroots production. We are really putting in all the work. So I feel really, really proud of it. But to answer your question, yes, I skated. I come from that. And I think we worked really hard to make that look
really hard. They changed the songs on us a couple times. We had to adjust the routine, slow it down, speed it up, but we pulled it off and we're ready for it. So.
Y'all really did. And my last question is for you, Omar, because I read somewhere that during your Smart Guy days, you were really intentional about cultural moments. I know like you and Jason didn't do things that didn't feel real or authentic.
Oh, totally.
Tell me, how has the landscape kind of changed, like from then to now, from like seeing those big cultural moments on television, especially with something like Saturdays, where our little sister, I call her my little sister, Marsai, is running the ship.
Right. Well, they've changed because we don't focus on them as much. You know, back in the days in the 90s, we would take the time to make a statement, make a moment, not even worry about comedy, and make sure that we're addressing certain issues. Then we had to make sure that it was still fun and light, you know. And I think now with, like, you know, after 2020 and everything that's going on and all of the movements and whatnot, I think it's now moved to the forefront now. Now we're saying, okay, let's make sure, you know, we go there and we talk about this and touch on it. We don't get too heavy in Saturdays. Whatever we touch on, we make it fun and light. You know, if we have an argument, we still try to make sure that we're laughing throughout it. You know, we circle back around. So with this, it wasn't that difficult. It wasn't like we kept saying, okay, well, we got to talk to them. Look, we're not doing that. There were a couple, but it was all in good fun. And I think that's what it's about. It's about escaping reality and having a good time and laughing throughout. And I think that's what we've achieved with this show.
Exactly. The world is already hard enough. So
Yeah.
thank y'all so much. It was an honor to speak with y'all today,
Thank
and
you.
congratulations on the show.